Welcome back to Tita Itana. We have like a ton of stuff to talk about. I'm sorry I'm a little late. Bae just came home from work um around what was like 7:30, and like the food I had ordered food from Uber Eats and it got here 4 minutes after that, so we ate. And yeah, it like I thought I was gonna be done at 8, like before 8, and then it just didn't happen. So I'm sorry about that. But we're gonna get started. We have loads to talk about. This is a very, 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 very powerful week. So I'm just going to set up the live so it gets posted on the Patreon real quick, and then I'm going to start the live on Instagram, and then we are going to get started. We have a lot of things to talk about today. So yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go. But definitely let me know how was this past week for you guys. It was, I feel like it's been kind of a little bit all over the place. Hey love, how are you? Hello, 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 hello. It's definitely this past weekend, yo. The shit that went down this past weekend alone was just kind of very, very critical. Like I went off. There was so many things that happened this particular week that like just, oh my god, it was just like one after the other. It was just crazy. It was just a crazy time. But I hope that you guys have been having like a good time. I know it's like the holiday seasons, a lot of different energies. I know some people have harder time dealing with the energy as well. So it can be a lot if you know, let it become like something that can be very toxic, or something like can be, you know, that can help you get through the rest to the beginning of the year. But no, it's been a really crazy time. So I'm just posting the link on the Patreon real quick so that way they can join us. Weekly healing circle. Hold on, and there we go. And then there we go. Okay, so let me just also get the live going so that way we're all on the same page. There we go. Okay, so we are under the solar eclipse as well tonight. So, you know, we're just being a little extra today. We're not going to be doing a meditation because we have a lot to talk about for this particular week. It's just a lot to talk about. Hello, Instagram. But we are going to be pulling cards, and we're going to be talking about what's happening this week, because this week, and I've been talking about it for a minute. If you guys haven't noticed, I've been talking about it for a minute. I've been bringing it up to you guys' attention, like, hey, just in case you're not aware of this, Jupiter and Saturn are about to go into Aquarius. This is the week that is going down. This is the week, okay? Which means that this particular week, and I feel like a lot of the tension that was coming off like the weekend and the past week as well, you're gonna see how like that shift just kind of, it's almost like a snap. This particular like coming up into next week, it's just like a snap. It's just like, oh damn. Like it is a moment. It is definitely a moment. It is definitely not without, you know, problems, and not without opportunities for things to happen. Like there's just definitely a lot of things going on specifically this week. This week is definitely going to highlight, start, you know, a little bit of a, well, not a little bit, a lot more of a focus on technology and how we use it. I feel like Saturn and Jupiter going into Aquarius is going to have more people, and I know this is going to sound ridiculous to say, but using technologies in different ways. I mean, it feels like we're always on our phone, or we're always on our, you know, using our devices and having multiple devices for 5 million things, but it's really going to advance at a larger pace just because of Jupiter going into Aquarius. Jupiter's gonna take Aquarian energy and it's gonna say, we're expanding all of this. We are going to look at everything. Just as Jupiter like was sitting in Capricorn this whole entire week, I mean, not week, but this whole entire year. And as you saw, Jupiter was going in on Capricorn energy and Saturnian energy. It was holding Saturn's hand and saying, hey, we're taking this walk together, but let's turn it into a run real quick. Instead of walking and taking your pace and taking your time, it's a run now. It's like we're running for the next thing. We are trying to make your energy move faster than it usually does. And because Saturn is a very much it can, even though Saturn co-rules Aquarius, Saturn can be very like slow moving. He's very like, you know, stable. He's very like focused on, and this is another reason why I personally like look at Aquarius and say, you know, as futuristic as you are, you still get your fixed energy from that Saturn energy, because Saturn likes that stability. It likes to progress, but over, you know, a longer period of time. But that stability, that like fixation, that like, you know, let's focus on the moment, that's Saturn energy. And so Jupiter has been like going ham this year specifically. We had a whole pandemic. Everything, all eyes was focused on the government and how it was going to handle things. Some countries handled it better than others. Like it's a lot. It's definitely a lot of different, you know, issues that arose from this year and how we see our traditions, how things are traditionally done. Like, for example, how we have our healthcare tied to our job. What happens if you don't have a job? Then what happens? You don't have healthcare. Like all of these kind of things that we have turned into, well, that's just how we do things. Now moving into Aquarian energy, the question becomes, okay, but that's not a safe net. Like obviously if that's the way it was done before, but we can improve that. We can make things a little bit easier. We can make things work a lot better. Like it doesn't have to be super complicated or complex. It just can work better. And I think that we need to try to look at certain things with a microscope. And that's what Aquarian energy really does. It looks at things from a microscope, but it just detaches to do so. So the energies itself, I feel like one, air signs and air placements will have that breath of fresh air that they've been wanting to feel for a while. Now that, you know, this week Jupiter and Saturn move into Aquarius, it's that need for like, it's just like a gasp. Like if you can actually see any of the air signs' like behavior and just like mood and vibes during any season, during any air sign season, they always just feel a lot lighter within themselves. And I always notice this. And you're gonna see a little bit of like that breath of fresh air, even though Aquarian energy brings a lot of, you know, a lot of a focus on specific issues, because Aquarius rules revolution, obviously. Aquarius rules technology, it rules society, it rules like our connections, our friendships. Like you might lose friends, but you also might gain friends. You might, you know, go through certain trials and tribulations, but you're gonna have to really look at it on a fair lens. You're gonna have to detach in order to see the truth, see what should be done, see the outcome. There's a lot of things. It's definitely a lot of things, and I do feel like we need to brace ourselves for the energy. Jupiter is moving into Aquarius on December 19th, and Saturn is moving into Aquarius on December 17th. So literally this week will it's the shift will be felt this week. You will notice it, because if you guys have noticed also in the weekly healing circles, I've always said, and even in the breakdowns when I do the full moons and new moons and what's going on with that, with the breakdowns, you guys know I always mention this, that the generational planets are majorly in earth signs. So it gives you that steady foundation with whatever's going on with their inner planets and how they're kind of moving a little bit faster. The outer planets were still had this stability with all this earthiness, except for Neptune, because obviously Neptune was his Pisces. But the outer planets were just kind of like, you know, slow and steady, wins the race kind of thing. Now that you have Jupiter and Aquarius moving into like Jupiter and Aquarius, Saturn and Jupiter moving into Aquarius, you have this different shift. It's a breath. It is literally is a breath. And I want to remind you that Aquarius rules the crown chakra. And I want to remind you of all of the things that, you know, Aquarian energy connects us to, because Aquarius energy, Uranus energy, Saturnian energy, because it cold rules it, deals with a lot of different things. But on a level, on a personal level, it rules your crown chakra. So as much as it talks about connecting to other people, how we like socialize, even the weekly healing circles and stuff like that, us connecting in this way, it also rules your crown chakra, which is your own connection to to the universe itself. You know what I mean? Your own connection to your higher self. Your crown chakra is how you access the Akashic records, your past lives, is how you access your dreams, is how you access your ancestors, is how you access so many different things, so many different realms. Is when you're meditating, you're not meditating from any other space. You're meditating here and then targeting different spaces. So even in guided meditations, when you're doing like a root chakra meditation, you still have to go up here. You have to use your crown chakra energy to get down there to the root of the problem. Okay, you see how that all comes back full circle? Because Jupiter is going to be in Aquarius in this way, the downloads are going to be a lot faster. They're also going to be a lot heavier. I feel like a lot of people's like premonitions, and I feel like as far as like feeling disconnected from yourself, I feel like because Jupiter will be in Aquarius, if you are on, you know, the path that you're supposed to be in life, you will be getting a lot of solid downloads about what you're supposed to be doing, what like the as far as guidance goes. It's there's an alignment energy. There's a reason why also Aquarius rules the star card in tarot, which is a card of destiny. Okay, you have your crown chakra guiding your destiny in life. Okay, there's a reason why that energy is there. There's a reason why Aquarius itself, which rules all society, but also detaching from society. You see how that's like a dualistic thing? Those are that balance with the water bearing balance between the two. Like you have a moment to yourself where you need to detach and be with yourself, be with your own spirit, be with your higher self, be with the ancestors, be with your chakra, your own energies. And then you have that other energy of of Aquarius, where it's like, no, you also need to focus about what's going on in the world. How is different things affecting other people? Are other people also in alignment with themselves? And how does that affect me if they're not able to get there? How does that affect me if, you know, there's policies that stop them from being their best selves? And how does that energy like affect me on the side? Like, you know what I mean? I've told you guys this a lot about how, you know, even like your neighbor's energy, the blood, like the people who live in your area, the block, all that kind of stuff, all of that affects you. You're in this kind of bubble, okay? Unless you live around in the woods, which I would love to. Unless you live like in the woods, secluded from other people, and only nature is affecting you. The energies of the animals, the energies of the birds, the energies of like the trees themselves. There's the spirit of the trees that would be surrounding you and affecting you. But if you're like in a city-like area, what do you think you are absorbing? What kind of energy do you think you are absorbing, and how do you think you benefit from other people being put down on a social level? And so Aquarian energy deals with a lot. It has a lot of layers, and we're going to be unpacking all of these layers together through the year. So we're gonna talk in depth about Aquarius energy. Let me just drink some tea real quick, because like my voice, you guys know I talk a lot, so like the second I'm not drinking water or something, I'm just like so I feel like as far as this particular week, I think you should, especially because it's gonna feel like you're almost levitating a little bit. And that's honestly the way that when I'm like looking at the chart for the week, and when I'm just like trying to see, okay, the shift, it literally moves from one to another, because Jupiter is like super quick, and it just kind of moves a lot faster than the other planets do. Like even though Mercury moves really fast, Jupiter has this speediness about it. And I do feel like there's going to be moments this week that you're going to kind of catch yourself taking a deep breath, and that's when that shift is going to happen. So I can't wait to kind of catch up with you guys next Monday after all is said and done. Oh wait, no, we're not having a weekly healing circle next Monday, because next Monday, what is next Monday? It is the end of the year wrap up workshop that I'm doing. So there's not going to be a live this week. Well, next week. So make sure that you got your tickets, because there's literally 3 tickets left. Like I checked it earlier. Ritual kits are sold out and there's 3 tickets left. So what was that? 3 tickets left. So just make sure that you already have a ticket. If you are a patron member and you're a high priest or high priest level, you already have a ticket, so you don't need to worry about that. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much almost sold out. I just want to make sure that everybody can get it if they need to. I am sending out the ritual kits this week. So please, 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 please make sure that you are, you know, ready to go with that. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and I feel like this week is just setting us for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment, because there's going to be this conjunction where Jupiter and Saturn are going to be in Aquarius, and that's going to be on Monday, which is also the first day of Capricorn season. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot happening, and it is a shift. So even though we're in Sagittarius season now, and we're still in this kind of fiery tone, we're still focused on, you know, learning what we need to do, what our purpose is, what we want the next year to look like all like that kind of energy is still present. But because the generational planets are kind of doing this shift, next year when we go into Capricorn season, it's going to be like a breath of fresh air. But at the same time, Saturn's presence is still not gone, because Capricorn season and then Aquarius season right after, you still feel that like question that Saturn presents to you when he's present, which is like, are you grounded? Are you good? Are you gonna be good here for the next 10, 15, 30 years? Like, are you gonna be good? By the time I come back to see you in 30 years, am I leaving you in good hands? Am I leaving you in a good foundation? If not, then you're still dealing with that residual Capricorn energy moving forward. So it can be a little bit complex in that way. Wait, hold on, let me look at the comments. I think, yeah, the whole conversation is happening in the comments. Yes. Okay. Yo, I just have this urge to quit my 9 to 17. You wrote 17, girl. If you're working 9 to 17, that's not cool. But I know you wrote 9 to 7 job. Listen, I feel like when it comes to, especially as a Capricorn, and because we're so close to Capricorn energy, I always have to say this. I would, even though there's been moments where I've like literally like left like a job and been like, you know what, or like we're about to be close to like leaving a job and be like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. But I didn't do it because I tried to set myself up for success as best as I can. And as a Capricorn, I understood that. Like, I remember there was this time where I used to be a supervisor and I was working at this job, and it was just like such a toxic environment. Like, it was all women that were working, but the majority of the women that were working there were Aquarius. And this is another thing. There were half Aquarius, half Scorpio. It was like a whole situation. There was a whole bunch of drama and like weirdness and like, oh my God, like the Aquariuses were like super toxic, like the worst toxicity like level that I just like, oh, I just hated being there, because there was always drama, there was always like shadiness, there was always just like this energy and this pettiness, and I just like, I hated being there. And I remember calling my mom when I was on break one time, and I was like, Mom, I can't do this anymore, I'm just gonna leave. And she's like, wait, but just apply for something else. My mom, the Cancer, apply for something else because I want you to be okay, like make sure that you have another job before you leave. Ugh, you know, that's like the thing. And so I did that, and then the second I applied to the other job that I ended up getting, I got it so fast. Like, Spirit was like, usually the job that I was getting, which ended up being at this really high-end tech company that they take forever to pick their people. I got hired within like 2 weeks, like really, really fast. Like the second I called my mom, I like applied that night. I got a call the next day. They called me in for the interview the day after that. And then I literally got it. And then I just like, and they told me to pick the day. I could have just, you know, quit that same day and then like have started that week after. Like, it was so stupid fast. Like, and if you actually ask anybody who gets hired in that specific company, is a huge tech company that we all use, they take forever with their hiring process. So it was kind of funny how, you know, it just kind of rolled super fast. And it goes hand in hand with the Capricorn energy, because I can manifest jobs really easily, but at the same time, I would say and advise you to make sure that you're stable first before just dipping out, because it's you don't want to be put in a position where you can't, you know, it's taking you longer to find something. So that would be my advice, my very like motherly Saturnian advice. Like, make sure you're good before you dip out right away. If anything, focus your intentions towards manifesting a better opportunity, and for that to come in very quickly. And it's funny because I was so mad when I called my mom that one time that I actually manifested it out of anger. Like, I just wanted to leave. Like, it was in my solar plexus. I felt it. I was like, Mom, I can't do this. That was a decision already building. I said I couldn't do this anymore, and because I couldn't do it anymore, I manifested that opportunity stupid fast. Like, stupid fast. So just make sure that you're manifesting, you're putting your anger or your frustration towards wanting to be somewhere else into that energy, instead of being like, oh my God, I want to quit. Because setting the intention of I want to quit doesn't bring an opportunity to anything else. You know what I mean? Like, when you say, oh, I want to quit, it's like, okay, but then what do you want to do? Like, the universe hears you saying that, and it doesn't say like, so you don't want to do anything else? Okay, so I'm going to keep pushing you to quit, but then I don't have anything else set up for you because you didn't ask for it. You know what I mean? So just make sure you're setting yourself up for success. I hope that makes sense. Right during midterms. Yeah, I'm sorry, boo. The universe just be moving. Does writing on a paper your intentions and burning it work instead of burning candles and doing spells? Writing your intentions on paper is already a spell in itself. You don't even need paper to do a spell. That's why elemental magic is important to understand, because air elemental magic, which goes into writing specifically, doesn't always have to be written for it to be effective. A lot of the air elemental magic has to do with your own mind, your behavior, your intentions. One of the easiest ways I like manifest is through affirmations. And affirmations is just like, I put on affirmations in the background while I'm cooking, and I just be like, ashe here and there when I agree with whatever needs to be affirmed. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be super complicated. I don't have to be full on black robe, you know, like dressed to the nines, like about to go ham on my wooden floor on the spell. It doesn't always have to look like that. You can, there's different ways to work with the elements and different ways to work and manifest and do spells. So yeah, if you want to write, that's fine. That like falls closer to like scripting and stuff like that, or like even just writing love letters to the universe, which I know a lot of people do, and it's a very beautiful practice to do when you're trying to manifest and do spells. So yeah, it's not a spell, if that made any sense. Capricorn, when's your birthday? I know Capricorn season is around the corner. I was born on the 8th. Me and my sister are both Capricorns. She is a December Capricorn. She was born on the 30th. I am a January Capricorn. I was born in January. And tend to find there's always this weird shift. I always feel like, especially as an astrologer, say what you will, but I always feel like you are more like the sign when you're in the middle of the actual part of the season. And because I'm in the middle of Capricorn season, I tend to be more like a Capricorn. My sister is like, as much as she is a Capricorn, she still has a little bit of that Sagittarian energy kind of there. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a whole complicated thing, and it's just like some of the theories that I have. Do you have an altar for the archangels? No, because they don't want me to have one. I literally have asked, and I think that, okay, the only one that I do have is Archangel Michael, and it's just because I framed the picture of him, and I had his thing there, but that's like for babe. But the archangels don't, anytime I've asked them, I'm like, hey, do you want me to, no, because they're basically on call, and I always say this, they're on call, they're pretty much there when I call them. I literally was doing this whole like prayer to Archangel Michael the other day, actually, like this past weekend, because I was like, yo, Archangel Michael, I need you to show up right now. And literally, because honestly, I can't remember what it was, but I know there's something that I needed within that moment. I was like, Archangel Michael, please help me. Like, I think I lost something in my room, and oh, it was the lock. It was a lock to my room. And I was just like, Archangel Michael, I can't find it. Please help me, point me to where this lock is so I can find it, so I can go to work and not feel like, you know, anybody can go into my room and stuff like that. And so I was just like walking around, literally 5 seconds later, I literally found the lock, and it was just so funny. I was just like, and I hadn't found that lock in 2 days. So that's what I'm just like, but no, they don't necessarily need an altar. It's not like a necessity. It's just like, if you want to have a space for them in your home, then that's your choice. There's altars can a lot of the time be a choice in the depending, and I have to specify this, depending on what it is or whom it is that you're working with. But not everybody needs an altar. And even though I have an altar for Santa Muerte, like, I don't necessarily think that even she would say that she needs an altar, to be honest, even though, yes, most people who are like, you know, work with her have altars for her. But I've seen her I see her in a lot of different places. Like I visibly see her I've seen her in a lot of different places, and where there is no visible altar around, and that's because she is the embodiment of death. So it's like, death is everywhere, just like air is everywhere, just like the archangels can go anywhere. So to me, it's like, not everything is a necessity, if that makes any sense. It is important to hold space and have altars, and this is why there are ancient places of worship, and you have like different, you know, ancient, you know, ruins that are still like there today, that can show you like, hey, you know, this is where people worshipped, and that energy is still there. Obviously, all of those things are still there, but in your own space on this day, it's not necessarily, you know, always a need, but that does depend on who you're working with as well. Hello, I've been watching your channel for a while now. I joined your healing circle last week, and your advice was just what I needed to nail my interview. Thank you for teaching us. Oh, you're welcome. I hope you get it. Oh, you're January 7th. Capricorn gang. Capricorn gang. Yo, let me tell you, quick Capricorn note of like something that I always find hilarious. At my job, we just got a new manager, and it was so funny because I always ask people what their signs are, so I know how to talk to them, because, you know, some people's egos are like too, you know, sign. So I was like, yo, what's your sign? And then there's one of the other girls that works at my job. She knows I'm an astrologer, so we're always talking astrology. And she's like, oh, this person just got hired as a Capricorn. This person is a Capricorn. The manager that just, you know, came through, he's the Capricorn. And I was telling them, and I was asking them like, oh, what's your sign? He's like, oh, you believe in that? Or like, Capricorns are the worst. The Aries and Capricorn are like the two signs that will refuse to believe in astrology. And I understand why. As a Capricorn, I understand why they refuse to believe, but I love astrology because my Venus is in Aquarius, and Aquarius rules astrology. So personally, like, I feel very connected to astrology, but I also understand, having a Capricorn stellium, why, you know, there's people out there that don't believe, especially Capricorns out there that don't believe in astrology. And Aries, oh my god, like, they have to have some water or Aquarius energy in their chart in order for them to believe, because Aries and Capricorn will be the signs that believes in hard work and making shit happen for themselves. So they won't be out here like believing that anything else is taking in any hands. Nothing else is going to be the thing that shakes them into like, no, nothing else is affecting them. No, they're the ones who woke up that day and said, I'm gonna keep doing this, I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna get the thing. And then when they get the thing, they're like, you see, nobody helped me with this, I climbed this damn mountain by myself. So I get it, like it's so funny, like I totally get it. But it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh because, you know, like sometimes I wish I had more Capricorn like friends that believe in astrology. There's a few of people that I know that are Capricorns that believe in astrology. Majority of them are like, no, this shit ain't real. And I'm just like, yeah, it's annoying. It's not true. Yo, I can't. I just can't. I'm just like, I can't, because I'm like, yo, look at Jeff Bezos, look at all of these goddamn Capricorns and the things that they've done. Like even Lin-Manuel Miranda and stuff, like Capricorn, freaking Hamilton Capricorn, the dude he wrote a musical about is also a Capricorn. Like the thing. And if you look historically at Capricorns, we just all about work. We're all about getting stuff done and, you know, making it happen for ourselves. We're not thinking that anything else is at play. We're just making stuff happen. Hashtag cardinal energy. Okay, so I see there are some Capricorns in the chat that believe, and that's great, because listen, it is a problem. I honestly wish more Capricorns would believe. And I feel like, especially because Capricorn season tends to be the season where a lot of people like get depressed, including Capricorns. Okay, December and January tend to be really dark times for people. I just feel like they should allow themselves to understand their energy a little bit more and work with astrology to like benefit them. So, but hey, you can't force what you can't force. Anyway, so let's look at the energy for this week. Oh my god, that is so funny that is like the first card that jumps out to all my Aries in the chat. Let's look at the energy for the week. Okay, so what do we need to be aware of for this week? What do we need to be aware of for this week? What do we need to be aware of? What do we need to know? What do we need to know for this week? Oh, I just noticed I was doing it backwards. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. What do we need to know for this week? Okay. So, bottom of the deck, it's the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Swords. I told you the shift was happening, and I told you it was going to feel like a breath of fresh air. I'm not making stuff up. Like, this is just what is good. This is literally just what it is. Like, it's going to feel like a breath of fresh air. You're going to feel that airiness. It's like if you're not an air sign, or you're not dominant air, you don't work with your air placements as often, you're going to be like, it's like a deep breath. Like a kind of moment. It's just like a deep breath kind of moment situation for this week. Now, what's going on this week? Well, first and foremost, we got like that Aries energies coming up real strong. We got the Emperor, we have the Ace of Wands and the Five of Wands, okay? And then we have the High Priestess and the Two of Cups, okay? Now, what exactly is going on with this? So I feel like, especially for this week, because again, we're having this shift situation, okay? Hold on, I'm trying to pick the words to explain this. So, you know, the way I'm seeing it in my head is like, you know, when you're about to start like a match, when you're like trying to like light the thing and it just like sparks. This is like how I'm seeing it, okay? It's like this Ace of Swords this is like the match right here that we're trying to light, okay? But you need that spark, you need that oxygen to still be present in order for that the chemicals to react to each other and create something, create that fire, create that flame. And I do feel like this particular week calls for us specifically to be very aware for the energy, because now is the time for us to finish resolving, okay, any type of the chaos, any type of like conflicting energy, and I do feel like it's like that energy has been present, and this is like how we connect to other people, friends, associates, people who we know, and how they're reacting as well as how you're reacting to them, whether that be, I feel like there is this energy of, you know, over passionate energy, and I think it's because, again, you know, Mars was in Aries and had this kind of like retrograde moment where it couldn't move, and now we are still, there's still that angstiness. I feel like with everything being on pause, with them being on pause and with not being able to move forward, everybody's a little bit pent up. And I think that 2020 has a lot of people pent up. I think that some of us need to, you know, I heard Babe actually told me about this. There's this bar in New York City or something that like you can go and you just slam plates and stuff. Like you just take out your anger on like plates and glass and you're just like throwing stuff. I mean, now, you know, bars and stuff is closed so nobody can go, but apparently that's kind of like a thing. Okay. And I feel like a lot of people need to do that. And I'm not saying, you know, take the time this week to slam some plates, but I just feel like a lot of people are pent up, and that energy, as much as we're gonna try to control it this week, is gonna be a little bit hard, because if someone pokes us at us a little bit weird or tries to come at us sideways, we could literally flip off on people really easily. That happened to me this weekend. I went off on somebody because they really tried me, and I was just like, my Mars and Sag was like, no. So it's definitely something that I feel like, if not used properly, it can cause damage, and that's kind of like the problem. Okay, you have this spike, you have this like, you know what, I got my energy, you feel this energy, you feel this eclipse energy, you're like a little bit like, you know, you're in the ring. Okay, you're bouncing, you in the ring, you got your mittens on, your gloves on, and you're just like, okay, you know what, we're about to go in, I'm about to go in, like you're hyped up. There's like this energy of like, I can pop off right now. But you can misuse this. This is how it can get misused, okay? By creating conflicts and chaos where it doesn't need to be placed. Where your like intentions, your focus doesn't need to be placed. And that's kind of like where it can cause issues, where it can, like, you know, turn into a problem, and where you can feel a little bit like the negative aspects of that fire energy. This is anxiety. This is like, you know, all of the things that happen when we misuse fire energy. We get, you know, we tap into the letting the fire affect us in an anxious way, in a negative way, where it physically starts affecting us on a physical level, and we start kind of have to reel in from that energy itself. Like it can be bad if you lose control of it. I remember like even yesterday, oh my god, yesterday was really crazy. I was having an entire panic attack at work. Like like a whole entire panic attack at work, and I was texting Bay and I was like, I'm not letting it get to me where like it hasn't gotten to me yet where I'm like, you know, whatchamacallit, I'm like, you know, letting it, you know how it constricts you. I don't know if you haven't had a panic attack or anything like that. Like your body it goes through a process. Like everything just kind of like reels in and constricts, and it feels super weird. I was in control of it like the whole entire time, and I was just like, okay, I feel my heart rate is like through the roof, but I have that, I'm still controlling it for the larger part of it. I'm aware of it, but I'm controlling it, but it's still making me very uncomfortable. And so I had to leave work early because I was not feeling well at all. And I was just like, hey, listen, I can't be here because it's getting to that point. And then like the second I got back home, everything kind of turned off and it just switched. Like I just like, it's almost like that breath. It kind of went away, and it was just like weird like that, how it just kind of just shifted. But there is this kind of pent up frustration, pent up energy, everything that didn't get done, every action that you didn't get to take this year, all the possibilities, all of those movements that you were supposed to make during 2020. All of that angst has been compounded into one thing, okay? And this is the last week of Sagittarius season. We're in a fire season. This is the week that you can really, really easily let out a lot of that frustration, but you do it in a way where it's not necessarily the best. I would, if I were you guys, I would be channeling your passions, and I would be channeling trying to maintain your control, because there's a reason why we got the Emperor. Okay, the Emperor is always in control. You give me a lot of Gemini vibes. I thought you were a Gemini. I'm a Gemini moon, boo. Capricorn sun, Gemini moon, Leo rising. But that's why I talk a lot too. But this week is that Aries vibes, okay? It's that in control like an Aries. It's that in control like a king, like an emperor, like a person in power. You are in control. Every move, you need to be so aware of your behavior that every move you take needs to have a purpose. It needs to be like in alignment to you. It needs to benefit you to some capacity. Oh, you just got up, what are you gonna do? Like, play it like a video game. Are you gonna go brush your teeth? Are you gonna go like think about, like, are you gonna sit around and like mope? Are you gonna, like, what are you doing? What are you gonna do? You need to actually have a higher self-awareness about your behavior, your solar plexus this week, because you could just be, all of that pent up frustration and energies from 2020 can just come out sideways, and somebody about to catch your spiritual hands, and I don't want to be a part of that, because that's not gonna look cute, okay? Then with this High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, this tells me that if you're going to try to actually work with the energy itself and make the best of it, especially working it through intention, we are under a solar eclipse. If you are going to actually try, okay, to work with the energy, you can actually manifest a lot in a short amount of time. And this goes to everybody who is trying to create a better world for themselves, a better solution, a better situation, a better move. It works more if you tap into your divine feminine energy. If you try to move a mountain with your divine masculine energy, you will very much find that you're still gonna be moving rocks, and you'll be kicking rocks all over the place trying to move mountains. It's just not gonna work. Like, this week calls for us to balance our divine masculine and divine feminine energies in order for us to, use this gift, because we have two gifts here. Don't forget, we have that breath of fresh air. The shift brings us that breath of fresh air. And then that's that. Okay, so with this breath of fresh air, now that you have that moment, what do you want to do with every breath moving forward? That is a question. That is the powerful question of the week. What do you want to do with that large breath that you just took moving forward? It's kind of like if you've been swimming in the ocean and you're almost close to like that coming up for air, and that first breath that you take is like, that's this week. Okay, you were fighting the ocean waves, you were fighting all of these damn things. You're like, no, I'm trying to survive, bro. I'm trying to survive. I'm literally over here swimming my life trying to survive. That first breath you take, that's this week. How are you trying to survive 2021? The question now turns into 2021. Okay, I know it's the holidays. I know there's a lot of stuff going on. I know, people are going through a lot of different things, but it's up to us to set ourselves up for success. And the best way to do that is to work with your spiritual gifts. 10,000%. If you are feeling any at all lost this particular week, make sure you're working with your transits. Make sure that you're looking at your astrology, and also make sure that you're working with your spiritual tools. Even if you're just, I'm going to carry this crystal while I'm at work just to keep me a little bit balanced, because there's been a lot of stuff going on. I'm just going to carry this crystal. Or, I'm going to pray to the angels to protect me for the rest of the week every day, because I feel like I need a little bit extra, some angelic forces behind me for this week. I really want to focus on my career for next year, so I'm going to set my intentions under this eclipse for some big moves for next year. I want to manifest something that's really stable, that's really cool, that I would love to do, something that would connect with my passion. Whatever that is, whatever you're going to do after this live and go work on and put your intention on, please make sure that you are using your spiritual tools. Please make sure that you're using intention. Please make sure you're using your divine feminine energy, because if you don't use it right and you actually don't do any type of ritual this Even if it's just writing, even if it's just you listening to affirmations after the video, even if you're trying to just keep it simple, okay? Even if it's just you writing down on a piece of paper and then burning that piece of paper, letting that intention go up to the universe. If you don't set an intention for this week, you will notice that your fire energy, your solar plexus this week, you won't pop off. At some point this week, somebody will hear your mouth, and it's not going to necessarily, like, you're going to direct your fire towards the situation versus directing your fire towards your purpose. And that's what I'm saying. If you're lost, that's because you have to work through, you got to move throughly, like, in a divine way. You actually literally have to sit down with yourself and be like, okay, let me actually do the work. Okay, let me do what I'm supposed to be doing. Let me actually, you know, take it upon myself to set myself up for success, spiritual success, because spiritual success leads to emotional success, mental success, physical realm success, love success, money success, all of the things. Spiritual success is the thing that you need. Okay, and once you have that done, where you're just like, you know what, I just set my intention, I feel really good about it, I'm just gonna let that, I'm gonna go make me a cup of tea and just get ready for bed. That's totally fine. That's totally 100% fine. Go about your business, but at least you just directed that intention, that fire that you've been holding on to in your solar plexus somewhere. That is the key. What do we need to know for this week? Wow, that's so funny that that is coming up when we're just talking about the angels. What do we need to know for this week? Okay. Okay, so the first one that came out was communicate with your angels. So the angels want you to talk to them this particular week. So get it together. And it says you have the ability to connect with the beings of love who surround you. Communicate with your angels and deliver their healing messages to others. You know that breath of fresh air that I'm talking about? The air element works in a lot of different ways, because it can work for you, but it also, again, it's going to be a huge focus on a social level. So we're all going to be getting downloads, and you could literally be getting downloads for someone you haven't seen in like 6 months because of everything that's going on. But that doesn't mean that you still don't need to communicate that. So there's a lot of things going on, and I do feel like for us to feel that support, spiritual, like as far as like having that spiritual support and being like, you know what, I feel so much better. I did my ancestor ritual for the morning. I did my libations. I asked for like support from my angels. I allowed my spirit guides to guide me today. All of that helps to, it's that nourishment. It's almost, you need to look at your spiritual army, as I like to call them, as your, like, that mothering energy that's very much present in our lives with our own physical mothers. That energy that mothers give, where it's just like, oh, I'm just here to take care of you and give you everything that you need. That is that spiritual energy. That's how the angels feel. That's how your ancestors feel. That's literally that nourishment that you're getting. And I feel like if you're missing that foundation, okay, and this is really what we're getting asked to connect. If you're missing that foundation, that nourishment, that's a problem. And the next card is family harmony. So I'm not talking out my ass. And it says your loved ones form a strong pillar of support. Embrace your love and put past issues behind you. Okay. If y'all think that we're about to go into Capricorn season, y'all not going to do some ancestor work, you wrong. You definitely wrong, because Capricorn energy, root chakra energy rules. That's where the ancestors connect. That's where their past connects. That's where you get that generational, like, handing the baton to the next generation. That's where it connects. And so there is kind of this connection to family, and just even the fact that it's like the holidays and that energy right now. If you think that just because it's the holidays and everybody's kind of focused on buying gifts and stuff like that, that this is not very much still there's not a need to connect with your ancestors and hold space for them in the same way that you would to anybody else who is physically present. You are wrong, and you need to make sure that you are still connecting with them and having their presence be known in your life, so you not only, again, feel supported, but you're also having that harmony, having that balance between the two worlds, from the spiritual world to the physical world. So you're not feeling like you need to move a mountain by yourself, but your ancestors, your spirit guides, your angels, they're all helping you not move a mountain, but just create a new, whole new different path that's actually that you're actually meant to go on in the first place. So there is this kind of need to tap in and connect with our ancestors, especially if we're feeling like, yo, I'm just pent up, yo, I'm just like heated, yo, I'm just like, no, pray. Okay, pray. Prayer is going to be a really big thing with all of the Aquarius energy that's coming in, I'm telling you. The next one is raise your vibration. And it says your intuitive feelings are accurate messages from the angels. I'm telling you, the messages that we're getting from spirit moving forward, okay, because this week starts to shift, moving forward, all the communication, because of all this Aquarius energy, because that's that crown chakra energy, because that's how we connect to the angels in the first place, okay, it's gonna be very, very bold, very, very present. It's gonna be, it's there, like there is no denying the thing. There is just, it's there. And that's kind of the thing about, you know, trying to use the energy productively. It's just about understanding what it's doing and how it's coming in and how you need to really tap into it so you can make the best out of it at the end of the day. So what do we need to know? What life changes are happening to us for this week? Okay. Oh, I love that this is a card that came out. Okay, so the first one is changing your mind. Changing your mind. With this breath of fresh air, with this air energy, comes new purpose, new thoughts, new ways of doing something. With that shift comes new opportunities, new, especially now that we're still, this is happening during Sagittarius season, okay? So Sagittarius is all about the mind, expanding the mind, that Jupiter energy of expansion, of knowledge, of understanding, of really trying to not limit your mind or your thinking or your life to any simple thing or anything in particular. And so there's nothing wrong about shifting your mindset if that's what you actually need to do and if that's where you're being led towards. Because that happens. There's some times where maybe you looked at something, you were like, you know what, that would be cool to do, but then you didn't end up doing it, and then you so happen to come back to it. Maybe you weren't supposed to do it at that time, but you were supposed to be aware that it's there at the same time. There's an awareness that happens. And I feel like life is going to push you where you ultimately need to go, but you need to allow yourself to get there. And if that means changing your mind, if that means saying, oh, you know what, I kind of wanted to do this, but maybe it's best if I play my cards this way. Maybe if I set myself up this way, I'll be more successful doing X, Y, Z, and B. And I do feel like especially if we have been moving through the energy of frustration and misusing our fire, you're going to find yourself this week trying to use it correctly, or trying to actually tap into what you need to do and then making up your mind. Okay. We're also getting gracefully aging. This is why I was laughing, because I thought this was really cute. Gracefully aging. This is the A+++ that you would want from Saturn to give you, the gracefully aging card. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, especially now that Saturn is shifting into a different sign, at the end of the day, Saturn just wants you to be set up for success. It's just like, you know what, if you look back at the past 3 years when Saturn has just been in Capricorn this whole time, a lot of things changed. A lot of things shifted. You're no longer where you used to be because 1, that wasn't stable for you. 2, you weren't supposed to end up with that. 3, like, you had to let go of that relationship. You wasn't allowing you to grow. If you really look back and you sit down, you're like, damn, Saturn took this, and this from me, but Saturn also gave me this, and this, and these are things that I'm actually going to keep. These are things that I'm actually going to have longer term in my life. So can I really be mad though? Like, and this is the gracefully aging energy, because at the end of the day, it's like, well, you know, I don't see you again for 30 more years. So I'm going to make sure that you are moving through time as gracefully as possible, as set up for success as possible. It might not seem fun when I come through the first time, but you know, it's a necessary process for you to have a good life and be supported at the end of the day. And so there is this, especially if you're ever having any type of issues or being afraid of to grow or being afraid of death and being afraid of all these things, this is when you connect to your ancestors, because they had to go through these processes. And so when you're moving through each kind of year, like, oh, I just turned 30, oh, I'm just like, and you're feeling down on yourself because you're reaching these aging like milestones, and a lot of people put like labels on them and all this kind of stuff. It's like, bro, first of all, no, you're still living your life. You still have a long way to go. Like, there's still so much stuff that needs to happen. Yeah, a lot of things already happened to you, but personally, I wouldn't want to be 20 again. There's certain things that I would not want to repeat about my life. I'm too busy looking forward to the future. And again, that's very Capricornian energy, because I'm always looking forward to my goals. But I feel like, you know, I lived those times and that was great. You know, it would be Pisces energy to be like, I'm still thinking about that thing when I was 18 and like that person. And I am not in that mindset. I'm in the, okay, you know what? I got things that I need to make happen in this life, and I can't continue to live in like the 2000s, like early 2000s and stuff. Like, that's just not who I am today. Like, it makes no sense. And so it's interesting now because we're going to be looking at time. That's another thing that we're going to be looking at, because again, Saturn co-rules Aquarius. And so the energy of time doesn't go away. It just gets used differently. And is a lot faster because it's an air sign, and with technology and everything like that. So there is a level of time that we will be discussing, but at the end of the day, you got to just make the best out of your life, okay? And Aquarius, it's so funny how, I always think it's funny how it goes from Capricorn to Aquarius, because Capricorn moves slow and steady, and then Aquarius, as much as it is a fixed sign, it moves a lot faster. It starts speeding stuff up. It goes from traditional to technology, boom, like all of this stuff like this. And it's important because both things are important. Being traditional and being, you know, stuck in a time era or being stuck in one thing, it's not that that's not important, but it's also important to evolve. And that's what Aquarian energy, that's how it moves to the other sign. It's just like, okay, well, that was great for what it was, but what are we doing now? What does the future look like? What are we creating? What are we inventing? What is going on? And I think that's still important to look at overall. So we're all gracefully aging. That's the moral of the story. Okay, so what do we need to know for this week? Okay, that started coming out strong. Okay, couple things. The first one that came out was boundaries. Who is surprised? Who is surprised? If the energy for this week is very like fired up, if you get in my way, you about to catch these hands. If that's the energy for the week, then why wouldn't you try to kind of detach from people? Also, boundaries is something that we're also going to be talking about with Aquarius energy, because Aquarius rules detachment. Detachment, okay? Detaching from other people, detaching from the drama, detaching from even the holiday, like just straight up being like, you know, like this week is funny. I started off this week, I told Babe, I was like, I don't want to see anybody this week. I just kind of want to be with myself. Like, obviously Babe, because I love her. But I don't, when I say myself, I'm including her in that. But I told her because there were a couple of different things that we were supposed to do with like family members and stuff like that this particular week. And I was just like, I can't, I have to be by myself. And it's just so funny that it ended up happening. And I didn't realize in that moment that it was like my Venus in Aquarius is getting very triggered right now, because I'm like straight up wanting to I want to just do me. I want to be by myself. I got stuff to work on anyway. I'm gonna just fall into the things that I want to do. So there is this like boundaries, like back up, like take 6 feet back from me. Take 6 goddamn feet back from me. Okay, I don't want you to step 2 more feet closer to me right now. I just want, you know, distance right now. So there is this energy of boundaries, and I do feel like if you're using your right, it's because you're trying to redirect that fire, trying to redirect your intention to the right area. It's almost like if you're trying to shoot an arrow and there's people walking in between you while you're trying to shoot. It's like, yo, if you get in between my arrow, you gonna die. Like, I'm gonna shoot you. So just give me time to be over here, bow and arrow style, Sagittarius style. Just let me do this, and then I come back to you later. We can reconvene at a later time, at a later date. But right now, I need to shoot some arrows, and that's what I need to do. So boundaries. Then we're also getting stormy. Okay, the shift is going to affect people in different ways, because a lot of people are not going to understand it, and a lot of people are, especially because it brings the energy of revolution. It's going to start bringing the energy of like angst. There is this angst. There is this like, okay, there's this angst. There's this like, yo, you know what? You guys are not resolving these issues. And even the reason why this particularly for me is a little bit shaky is because everything happening politically. I know things kind of calmed down a little bit now that, you know, the election passed and, you know, the sore loser lost. But with everything happening, especially I believe it's tomorrow or is it today that the elections get certified with the electors, there's some random effery, okay, that's going on, okay? And there's people, don't think that just because the energy of revolution is there that it necessarily is positive. There are people who will tap into that revolutionary energy and try to misuse it and start, you know, I know there's a lot of like Trump supporters that were trying to do all this civil war nonsense just because he lost. It's definitely a lot, but it's important to remember that these are very, very different times. We're shifting. This is a new moment, okay? And the new moment is going to last a couple of years. And so we need to be aware, maintain our boundaries, and understand the shift. And the shift is not going to look like sunshine and rainbows. You have to make a sunshine and rainbows, okay? You need to create that for yourself. But socially, because everybody's a goddamn hot mess, it can be something very chaotic, and it can be something that not everybody can deal with in the best way. So understand that not everybody takes in the shift the same, and then detach from them so you can start absorbing the shift properly. And lastly, we're getting meditate, because of course we are. Because why? What I said earlier, Aquarius rules the crown chakra. Or anytime you meditating, you in your crown chakra. That's Aquarian energy. So in order for you to calibrate, okay, this week, this specific week, okay, in order for you to calibrate, in order for you to be like centered, to feel in alignment with yourself, which is super important during Aquarius energies period, because Aquarius energy is all about connecting to your higher self, is all about moving through with knowing what the hell you're doing, choosing the choices because you know yourself, choosing your choices and being able to see without bias because you know yourself, you know what's right and wrong, you know how to balance yourself, you know how to, what's an imbalance in any situation. When you have that energy at play, it can create, you know, a lot of opportunity for growth if we work with it often. And this is why we're getting that meditate right off the bat. Oh, you want to balance out this fire? Meditate. Meditate, please. Please meditate this week. It is 1000% needed. Let me just pull some. Ask Archangel Michael, what do we need to know for this week? What? Wow. Okay. What do we need to know for this week? Ooh, hold on. Okay. So, lots of cards. So first one that came out, it was sense of humor. Sense of humor. And it says, thank you for helping me see the humor in this situation so I can lovingly laugh at human nature. I am willing to view my experience in a new light in order to attract love and healing energy. And this is really important because a lot of the time, especially during this time of year, we get really down on ourselves from the things that happened, the things that we didn't get to do, like the missed opportunities. Like it again, this can be a very depressing time for people, this specific month itself. And so if you are still hung up on the things that you didn't get to do, which I can definitely say is Capricorn energy, because anytime Capricorn energy seems like it's like if we're wasting time, we get really down on ourselves about that. We don't like wasting time. we like to choose to lay back if we need to, but we don't like to waste time. Any time that is like a moment, and I personally do not like it when people waste my time. That's something that actually is the easiest way to piss me off, to be honest. And I think any Capricorn would agree with me. If you literally try to waste my time to any capacity, I just get irritated because I could have been doing X, Y, Z, and B during that time. And so which is again very Saturnian energy. And there is this kind of looking at what has come to pass with a different perspective. Perspective is key. Looking at things from a different lens and saying, and not getting down on yourself for what you couldn't do, because at the end of the day, you still can't change what happened. So how did you grow from it, and what came out of it? What did you learn? How can you move forward, like knowing that, you know what, well, 2020, it was definitely a huge joke, I'll tell you that much. 2020 was crazy. A lot of stuff happens. I was not surprised, but it was like, it felt like it was a joke. Every single month something was happening. So it was a crazy time. It was a very serious time as well, but it was just like, if you were to tell everybody in the world in 2019, yo guys, just so you know, you're gonna be going through this and that all in 1 year, I'm pretty sure everybody would have been like what, you know, like really laughing in your face, because what, but that's really what it is. If you really look at 2020 as a whole, like, damn. So at this point, leave the year as it is. It was one of those years that we tell our kids, you know, like when we're older, this is one of those, you lived through 2020, just as people like lived through wars and lived through X, Y, Z, and B's. We lived through this crazy year. This is a history book year. So much stuff happens this year. And at this point, if you continue to move forward and carry the negativity out of it, you're just not going to be a happy person, period. Because this is literally like one of the worst years society-wise in a very long time. So especially as a health crisis, a social health crisis. Since what was it, the influenza that happened? Wait, was it that, like in Spain, and then that came to the US, and it was like a whole thing. I can't remember that properly, but like it's just a crazy time. So find the sense of humor in it, because that's like the best we can do about that. Now, Archangel Michael is also saying, paying attention to your dreams, okay? And the prayer goes, thank you for tucking me into bed tonight and helping me enjoy a wonderful, restful night's sleep. Archangel Michael, I invite you to my dreams as my teacher, guide, and healer. Please allow me to understand, and then it says, describe the situation on a spiritual level and give me guidance. So this is really important. If you're still trying to get clarity on something, working with the angels in this way through dreams is really important and powerful during this time, especially because the downloads moving forward past this week are going to be absolutely crazy. So it is really important for us to be working with the angelic forces, and the angels have been coming in hard to like, hey, work with us. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to apply yourself. This is what you like. They've been coming up hard in the weekly healing circle. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it is really important for us to work with our dreams. And if you are especially trying to navigate Neptunian energy, Pisces energies, which is dream work, which falls under Pisces energy, working with the angels is a really good way to navigate it, especially if you're trying to understand the message of something and you don't normally do like any type of angelic work. The next one is honor and trust your feelings. And the prayer says, thank you, Archangel Michael, for supporting, guiding, and protecting me as I listen to and act upon my feelings. Help me understand and express emotions with love. So I'm going to just bring this back up here, because I'm telling you, you can't ignore your divine feminine energy, because if you do, that's when problems arise. You must honor and trust your feelings. If your intuition is telling you something, your intuition is 10,000% correct, and you should listen to your intuition. There are reasons. There's a reason why you're doing what you're doing, and it's really important for you to trust yourself, because that is your guide. And again, that crown chakra, higher self, direct connection to your higher self. So if you're over here moving and trusting what you're feeling, you are trusting your higher self as well. So it's really important to understand that, like really, really understand that. Now, we are going to pull, I'm going to pull the mudras for this week, but I'm going to pull the Zodiac Oracle from the cards for the week, as far as what planetary, wow, that came up fast. Okay, hold on. As far as what planetary energies will be affecting us for this week and what energies we need to be watching out for on an astrological. Okay, that was a lot, guys. Jesus. Okay. And what astrological energies we need to watch out for. So the first one that came out, and I'm really not surprised about this, is Capricorn energy because of the shift. Because of the shift. The Spanish flu in 1920. Somebody on Instagram answered my question with that. Because of the shift. And so there is this Capricorn going into that air energy. So make sure you're looking at all your transits for this. We're also getting Cancer and Libra energy. I'm not surprised about this because, one, we are getting a lot of that divine feminine energy, and that is Capricorn energy. I'm sorry. That is Cancer energy. So there is like this need to be in a greater balance within ourselves, to really seek greater balance within our minds, our emotions, all of that. Like it's just a need. And the last one is Mars. Because again, Aries was the card that came out from the get-go. We have a lot of Wands energy for this week. We have a lot of fire. We have a lot of things pent up. We have a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. And so Mars obviously is having a very deep hands in everything that's going on right now. And I do think that if you're not paying attention to what Mars and how Mars is affecting you, you're going to get caught off guard. Like, this is the week that you can get mad and rage at somebody and you won't even know why the hell you just blew up on them. But I will, because I know what's going on. Okay, so we're going to pick the mudras for this week to help you guys with your meditations. Okay, this is from the Mudra cards deck. And let's see what comes up. What should we be using for our meditations for this week? What should we be using for our meditation for this week? Ooh, okay. Hold on. Oh, I did see your super chat. Thank you so much, my love, for sending me one. The first one is fearlessness. Okay, so you guys can come back this week, back to the live, just to see what the mudra is, so that way you guys can use it in your meditations. And the first one is fearlessness, and it says, with a greater sense of grounding and centering, I move forward in life fearlessly. Okay? Listen. Okay, so this is the back for my people who are going to come back later. There we go. The next one is free flow of vital energy. Why do all of these have to do with solar plexus? Free flow of vital energy. Attuned to the free flow of vital energy, I move with the rhythms of life smoothly and easily. With the rhythms of life. Aging gracefully. Okay, that is the back. And you can always pause the video later and then just, read and all that stuff. And the last one is awakening the inner witness. Through the gradual release of limiting beliefs, I continue my journey with greater clarity. What? Guys, you can't make this up. You really can't make this up. Okay. That's what it looks like. This is the back. There we go. So yeah, that's the messages for this week. I am going to go ahead and sign off now. Thank you guys for all the love. The whole chat was popping today. And thank you for the super chat, my love. I saw it. I'm sorry. Sorry I didn't say anything. I saw it and then I was like caught up in a sentence. But thank you guys for joining me again for another weekly healing circle, because I love doing these. Next week there will not be one. okay? Make sure you got your tickets to the workshop. It's free or by donation. The link is in the community tab, but I'm going to put it down below in the description box, so if you come back later, you can see it. But make sure you get your tickets, because it's literally, there's only 3 tickets left, okay? I'm really excited about that live. It's going to be really amazing, setting intention and working our magic on this conjunction, because it's going to be just, oh God, it's going to be amazing. Jupiter and Saturn are going to just, it's so beautiful coming out of a solar like eclipse. It's just such a beautiful time. Anyway, so I will definitely see you guys with the videos this week. You will see my face again, because there's videos coming. Definitely don't forget to check out the Patreon, because we're always learning and growing over there. And I just really quickly want to make sure you guys know, for the let me make sure I'm saying it right. For the whatchamacallit, I am having 2 specific, there's coupons right now for my website. If you would like to purchase anything from the apothecary, if you use the coupon in all caps holiday spell, you get 20% off all products. If you're a patron, the coupon is already on the Patreon right now, and it's for 30% off. So you get that off any of the products and off your order. So definitely make sure that if you would like to get something from the apothecary, you get it now, because it's a really good deal. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really, really good holiday. I'm still doing Vlogmas for you guys, so you guys will see the vlogs. It's gonna get posted soon. There's still a lot of stuff planned. I can't wait to show you guys, and I'm really excited for 2021. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be a lit year. I will see you loves in the next one. Have a very beautiful night. Bye.